Welcome to Fit to Love, Movement Mondays, all about exercise, all about movement, all about you. Enjoy the show. Today's show brought to you by the Metabolic Makeover Program. Find out if you have weight loss resistance and how to heal it naturally. Today's show, 3 versions of bicycle abs. So there's an exercise that most of us do called a bicycle. It's an ab exercise. And instead of focusing on flexion of the spine, it focuses on rotation. Now I do have to do the disclaimer and say that no ab exercise is going to spot reduce and burn fat off of the area. So if you think you have to do ab exercises to sort of get the tire off of your abs, it's not going to happen. It's not quite that easy. Again, cardio, building your metabolism. We did several shows on building your metabolism. So I'm going to show you 3 versions. We're going to start with the basic, most simple version that while it might be really easy for a lot of you, I'm going to recommend that you try it anyway just to activate and really know that you're pulling from your obliques first. And I do need to also mention that even though we're doing rotation, your rectus abdominis, that muscle in the middle, is still doing flexion. So that's not shutting down. We are focusing on the rotation, but all of the ab muscles are working in rotation ab exercises. So go ahead and lie down on your back. And I'm going to concentrate on these points. I want you to focus on your rib cage point. So this first exercise, I call it a half bicycle. I call it a half bicycle because you're only lifting half of your body weight and you're leaving the other half on the ground. So you're going to put your hands behind your head and you're going to focus on pulling from right here at the rib cage. If you see my cat in the shot, know that she's very healthy and she just wants to be around all the really healthy things we're doing. So you're going to focus on your rib cage and your ribs pull you up, right? Any ab exercise, you're focused on where the insertion of the muscle is and how it's pulling you. So we're going to go from this point to this point. I'm going to pull from this rib up and over. And at the same time, I'm going to pull from this hip up and over and meet in the middle. Now, a lot of times people want to do this and they think it's about touching your elbow to your knee. Again, your elbow and knee have nothing to do with your abs. We're just focusing on that direction. I don't care if you touch your elbow and your knee. Some people can't even if they try really hard, can't touch their elbow to their knee. This is about this point and this point coming closer together. So again, hand behind your head, you're going to focus on pulling both of these up at the same time. And then we're going to switch. We're going to go back to the other side. And we're going to pull up and meet in the middle. So even if you've been doing this exercise for a while, I want you to go back to the beginning, do this half bicycle, and learn how to activate and actually pull from your abs instead of doing what most people do, which is this. Where I'm lifting my head off the ground, I'm pulling my head with my arm, and then I'm trying to touch my elbow to my knee. And there's been very little ab in this whole exercise. Once you've been doing the half bicycle and you know for sure you're activating and pulling from your abs, now we can make it a little bit harder and use a little bit more resistance with your legs. So instead of leaving them on the floor and pulling one up at a time, we're going to hold them in a tabletop position. So now I'm going to make sure my pelvis is tucked, my abs are pressed down into the floor, and I'm going to leave these here while I focus on, again, pulling up and over just with my ribs. I'm going to exhale on the way up. Inhale on the way down, focused on my ribs pulling me up and over. This is going to be the second of the 3 bicycle exercises that we're going to do, all which are making you stronger and stronger, getting you ready for more resistance. The third bicycle exercise is now going to be movement in all areas. We're not going to hold our legs in isometric anymore. We're going to allow everything to come in as tightly as it can from the center, and the other leg is going to extend out. So my hands are here, my legs start here, and now I'm focusing on pulling in on one side, and then I'm going to switch, pulling in on the other side. And I'm not resting. I'm not coming up and down. On this one, I'm actually pulling over, and then pulling over, and then pulling over. And you can have your hands behind your head to support your neck. But I want to focus right now so that you see I'm pulling over from here, pulling over, pulling over. And this is a regular bicycle. There is one more version to this to make it a little bit harder, but we're going to wait until we get to the more advanced stages. The Fit to Love podcast show offers you 6 days a week of helpful content to achieve the happy life you deserve. Movement Mondays and Tasty Tuesdays are weekly video casts, while Wellness Wednesdays, Thoughtful Thursdays,
Freedom Fridays and Sexy Saturdays are audio-only shows themed every week to address your holistic life and needs. If the show inspired you, we would love for you to share it and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining us today. Head on over to fittolove.tv for recaps of every show, resources, and to join the community. That's FIT, the number 2, LOVE.tv. Have a fit and fabulous day.